So, welcome back. So, in the last lecture we are basically discussing a problem which we did not solve, we just started. We said we have given you a target molecule and the starting material was given guaiacol and a methyl lactate. This target molecule have some protecting group as in mesyl as well as pivolyl. So, we will try to keep it as it is. Okay. Now, we just discussed that intramolecular Friedel-Crafts reaction of this intermediate might be a good option, and we explained that as O-methoxy is ortho and para orienting. So, this is might be a viable option. You need to just hydrolyze this ester to make it the Friedel-Crafts ring closure, fine. So, next we need to do the remaining other part, and in this case we will try to keep it as a free alcohol. So, this alcohol will be basically protected as a its mesylate. This simple functional group addition. Then this part we will try to introduce some group which will be explaining later on. Now, this retro, see it very carefully, this retro was pretty interesting. Now, we said that this pivolyl group is basically nothing, it is a CH2OH, means if you have a CH2OH you can protect as a pivolyl ester. So, now if we have such intermediate, now you may ask that how you can think about such intermediate. Now, actually this intermediate at the very beginning is not visible to you. We will try to go back further down the line, then you will find that this intermediate is one of the intermediate which will be prepared, and then you do a oxidative cleavage here, just ozonolysis kind of thing, that will give the aldehyde that you can reduce with sodium borohydride, and then you get the free alcohol which you can protect as a O pivolyl as well as the phenolic group was protected as is mesylate ester. So, this is a functional group addition, or you can say functional group interconversion, fine. So, we are trying to give it the next transformation was absolutely fantastic. Next transformation was pretty, and then you see the powerful way how complex structures are basically assembled. Now, this transformation, a phenolic ether, basically allyl phenolic ether, all of us know that this kind of phenolic allyl ether will undergo a 3,3 Claisen rearrangement. Now, how we will explain when we talk about the forward pathway. So, this is a transformation which you know as a Claisen rearrangement or 3,3 sigmatropic rearrangement. That is what I am telling. Now, if we go back, you see that this moiety is basically coming from the guaiacol. This part is a guaiacol, OMeOH, and this part is methyl OH, might be the coming from the lactate part. Okay. We will do further retro by keeping this as your backup slide, and then you draw the same intermediate which we earlier shown you as a Claisen thing. So, this is the intermediate we need to prepare. Okay. Now, this intermediate, if you have a closed loop alpha, beta, gamma, delta. So, it is a gamma delta unsaturated ester, and numerous time we told that if you have this kind of compound, you can straightwise go to which transformation? Johnson orthoester Claisen rearrangement, Johnson Claisen. So, it is a 3,3 sigmatropic based rearrangement, is a very useful transformation, Johnson Claisen transformation. Okay. So, now which particular allylic alcohol will undergo Johnson Claisen rearrangement to give you this product? We will now try to formulate it. We know a suitably substituted allylic alcohol will give it this product. This you already know, fine. So, now we are basically simplifying the target molecule and coming very close to the starting material which have been provided to you. So, now you do some functional group interconversion and now come back to a intermediate whose structure is basically this. Now, what we say? We say we will be doing some FGI or functional group interconversion on this ester part. This ester can be reduced to corresponding aldehyde. This aldehyde will then undergo vinyl magnesium bromide addition to give you the allylic alcohol. This is the intermediate for Johnson-Crescent transformation. Now, how this ether will be accessed? The starting material, now you can see this is basically guaiacol part and this is the lactate part. You just need the guaiacol phenolic OH and the lactate hydroxy group undergoing a etherification reaction, and this reaction again a very unique transformation is named as Mitsunobu reaction. It is a very unique transformation. Now, the mechanism of Mitsunobu reaction we will be not discussing here, but if you try to have a feeling why Mitsunobu reaction is very important, you try to analyze. I am saying that this phenolic hydroxy group and this lactate hydroxy group needs to undergoing a etherification reaction. Now, eventually if you are trying to do a simple SN2 reaction here with this as a nucleophile, it is very difficult, because we always know that hydroxy groups are not very good leaving group. You need to make hydroxy to a better leaving group by making either tosylate or mesylate. Now, in this particular instances, Mitsunobu reaction play a very important role. Mitsunobu reaction, we will explain what is Mitsunobu reaction little bit. We do not talk about mechanism, we will explain the mechanism later on. Now, I will give you a simple problem. I am giving you a primary alcohol and I say you convert this primary alcohol to a azide, one step. Now, one step is bit difficult, because I said hydroxy groups or primary hydroxy groups are not good leaving group. So, if you try to figure it out in azide nucleophile to attack here in a SN1 or SN2 fashion, you are definitely going to be fail, because alcohols are not giving good leaving group. The classical solution is you convert this alcohol to tosylate by making it OTS and then you react with a nucleophile to come to this product. So, as a 2 SN2 takes place together. So, tosylate it is a better leaving group. Now, the Mitsunobu reaction can handle the situation quite well. Mitsunobu reaction, we are using a set of reagent, one is triphenyl phosphine plus we are using a reagent whose name is NN diethyl azodicarboxylate, whose abbreviated as DED, is diethyl dicarboxylate, which was abbreviated as DED. Now, Mitsunobu reaction, and then you can put your nucleophile, you can even put hydrazoic acid HN3 and you will get N3. Now, Mitsunobu reaction take care of a very important aspects. It tries to make alcohol as a better leaving group with the help of triphenyl phosphine. The alcohol will react with triphenyl phosphine in a sequential manner, and then you find this alcohol is activated through a oxygen phosphorus bond. Phosphorus oxygen bonds are very strong, and the byproduct similar like Wittig reaction. If you remember, we have a carbonyl compound, you react with Wittig-Gilite, the final byproduct is triphenyl phosphine oxide. So, the oxygen which is coming from the carbonyl compound, that makes the P double bond O, triphenyl phosphine oxide. That is a very important aspect. So, Mitsuno reaction, as I said, is a straightaway solution to make a alcohol as a better leaving group. So, now we will go back to the original problem which was given to you. So, first you are having guaiacol and your lactate. We did not discuss the stereochemistry. So, that is why we put a simple bond, we did not put a alpha or beta bond. So, now here you do a Mitsunobu reaction. Mitsunobu reaction, we will explain the mechanism little bit later when you talk about functional group based strategies. The Mitsunobu reaction is very useful, and you will be basically getting the corresponding ether like this. Okay. This is one of the intermediate which you earlier explained. Now, what you do? You need to introduce a allylic alcohol functionality here. So, selectively you can reduce this alcohol in one step, sorry, ester in one step by treating with dibal, diisobutyl aluminum hydride, which you already explained is a basically a mild reducing agent. So, you will be having this aldehyde as your main product, fine, and then you react this aldehyde with a vinyl magnesium bromide. So, the product will basically a allylic alcohol, which is the intermediate which is required for your Johnson-Claisen rearrangement. This is the thing. Okay. So, now you subject this compound to Johnson-Claisen, means you need trimethyl orthoacetate in presence of a acid catalyst, I say acid catalyst. So, you will be basically getting this thing, and then you will get the gamma delta unsaturated esters. Follow the standard mechanism of Johnson orthoester Claisen rearrangement, which have been discussed you numerous times. So, now is alpha, beta, gamma, delta. So, this is the alpha, beta, gamma, delta unsaturated ester, which is one of the intermediate. So, now we will be trying to do something else, and then now you again try to figure it out. So, we said the next transformation which you have devised in the retro pathway is basically a 3,3 Claisen kind of rearrangement of allyl phenolic ether. So, what do I try to do? We put the aromatic ring as it is. Okay. Now, you see say 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So, 3,3 sigmatopic rearrangement or Claisen rearrangement will be taking place, and then once this 3,3 sigmatopic rearrangement will take place, we will basically get the this phenols here, and then this part will be your so, we are just using a reaction of something like this. Probably you have all studied this reaction 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This reaction probably all of you studied, the reaction of a O allyl ether, which basically gives you the standard Claisen rearrangement, the 3,3 rearrangement, fine. So, this is the key reaction which we have used. So, now you are here, you are almost very close, very close. Now, what is now required? You do a oxidative cleavage just by ozonolysis. Then you reduce this aldehyde, the generated aldehyde by sodium borohydride, and then you do the free alcohol which was generated here. Okay, we can write it down. We write it down, the free alcohol. Free alcohol, which you can now protect with this compound, which name is pivolyl chloride, whose structure is basically nothing tertiary butyl COCl, the acid chloride, and then it basically give you the corresponding pivolyl ester. It will give you the O pivolyl. This part is remain similar, absolutely no issue. Your free phenolic OH is there, and if you remember, this free phenolic OH needs to be converted to the corresponding mesylate. We will take the structure as it is, and then we will try to finish it up the remaining part of the synthesis, and let us see how it was done. The intermediate which was drawn in the earlier piece of paper is having something like these structures, and then as I said, you need to do a mesyl protection with this free phenolic OH. You treat with mesyl chloride, triethylamine, you get the corresponding mesylate derivative, O mesylate. This part it's remain similar. Eventually, now you need to do a intramolecular Friedel-Crafts reaction. So, this basically you can hydrolyze these things, this ethyl ester, and get the corresponding acid to undergo a intramolecular Friedel-Crafts reaction. But on the contrary, this O pivolyl group might also undergo hydrolysis. That is a trick. So, probably for this chemoselective things we are trying to avoid. You can just put a very mild hydrolysis condition which will only clip this one, and then once you here you will get this thing CO2H. But in the sequences, if some of the pivolyl group is lost or hydrolyzed, that also can be possible, but eventually you can again come back to the original pivolyl by just doing a functional group manipulation. So, now you do a intra-Friedel-Crafts. Here you can say you will do a mild basic hydrolysis, or on the way you can basically do a acidic hydrolysis, which is much more relevant. The acidic hydrolysis will basically pick up this one, not the bulky base hydrolysis, not the bulky this tertiary butyl group. So, you can, the best solution is you can do a acidic hydrolysis. So, here you do a intramolecular Friedel-Crafts reaction, and then your target structure can be achieved. So, this is the target we have given in the very beginning. So, see it is a very powerful transformation based approach. We have used couple of interesting transformation. What are those? We used 2 sigmatropic rearrangement, 2-3-3 sigmatropic rearrangement. One is the simple allyl ether of phenol and its corresponding Claisen rearrangement. Another is the Johnson-Claisen variant of the Claisen rearrangement. Then we basically do couple of functional group interconversion, functional group addition, whatever way you can say. We use couple of protecting group based strategies, protecting group. We use couple of protecting group based strategies, and then at the end we use a intramolecular Friedel-Crafts reaction. We use intra-Friedel-Crafts as one of the main transformation. So, in the whole, as I said, transformation based strategies, functional group based strategies, static material based strategies, all are interlinked. Here I have given you a target, I have given you the starting material. So, basically you can fit the entire strategies in any of the given strategies you would like to fit in. So, that is why I said transformation, functional group and starting material, these strategies are basically overlapped, you cannot discuss them separately. All the examples which we will be covering here having a core theme, they basically talk always transformation, functional group and the starting material based approaches. So, probably in the next problem we will talk about something similar, and this is we will be again trying to focus it out multiple transformation based strategies. As I said, multiple transformation based strategies where you can think about a little bit complex structures, and the structure is definitely complex, and if the starting material was given, you can correlate the starting material with the given structure, then you can come back. Now, see this target will be next going to give it to you. The target molecule is a natural product. For the sake of simplicity, I have not given you the stereochemistry, because we have not discussed it. This molecule is a natural product and its name is parhydrohistrionicotocin. It is basically a toxin molecule which have been isolated from a South American frog, is isolated from the skin of South American frog, and based on the scientific name of the South American frog, the name histrionicotocin has been derived. I do not remember exactly the scientific name, but this molecule is basically toxic, but nevertheless if you see the structure is pretty interesting. Now, as I said, you start communicating visually. At the very beginning we said start doing a visual dialogue with the molecule. Now, what are the structural features this molecule does have? As I said, structural features is very important. What are the structural features this molecule does have? This molecule basically having a spirocycle framework, okay, spirocycles, and the rings are basically 6 rings are there. This molecule have a amine functionality, secondary amine, okay, secondary amine functionality, fine. And then you will see this molecule has some other groups. It is having a N-butyl appendage, and then it is having a hydroxy group at the right hand side ring. There are 2 rings actually, A ring, B ring. Actually, in true sense this molecule is not the natural product, the natural product is something else. I have just put a smaller fragment of the natural product. In the natural product there are some other functional groups here. So, initially what I said, this molecule is a natural product, it is not true actually. The real natural product is something else, but the natural product having is structural similarities exactly same, only thing is you will be having a extra N pentyl group here. So, I am just picked up the synthesis for this molecule to explain how the particular transformation based approach is very powerful and how the retro can be done in a sequential manner. Now, this is the initial visual dialogue. You can start with the molecule and analyze the structural features. What are the structural features this molecule does have? Okay. So, then we will try to do the retro. We will try to do the retro. The retro, as I said, this is a NH, this is a N-butyl, this is a OH, this is a target molecule. The retro wise, the very beginning we will be using a very powerful transformation, reductive transformation, which will basically convert a amide to corresponding amine. Is a functional group based interconversion. We all know amide can be converted to corresponding amine through a reductive way. You take a amide, you react with LH, lithium aluminum hydride, you basically get the amine. This is a very standard textbook chemistry. Okay. So, it is FGI. Next is important because this reaction I am sure all of you know it. This is the powerful transformation which is required, and this powerful transformation if I write the structure, you would simply jump into that said, okay, I know it. Now, what is this? This transformation is basically based on a Beckmann rearrangement. Now, Beckmann rearrangement all of us know it, and Beckmann rearrangement basically if it undergoes to a cyclic oxime, you will get a ring expanded amide. Okay. So, the basic transformation is a Beckmann rearrangement based transformation. Now, as the time is limited, probably the remaining part of the synthesis we will discuss in the next class. So, but what I am going to say, when you go back to your home, you analyze this target molecule, try to give a thinking and initial two retrosynthetic pathways we have discussed, and if time permits you analyze in your own. Okay. Then when I come back for the next lecture, then you try to correlate whether your pathway and my given pathway are similar or different. That will basically give you that you are going on the right track. Okay. See you in the next lecture. Till then, goodbye.